My dear friends, my brothers and sisters, let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why is it that your phone gets more respect than your own life? When your phone battery drops to 20%, you panic. You turn off background apps. You close unnecessary tabs. You even put it on airplane mode to save energy. But when you are exhausted, mentally drained, confused, losing focus, you say, it's fine. I'll manage. No protection, no boundaries, no respect. And then you wonder why your life feels noisy, slow, and stuck. Think about it. The most valuable things in the world are not available 24/7. Goal limited, time limited, opportunity rare. But you reply instantly. You accept every distraction. You give your attention to people who haven't earned it. And then you ask, why doesn't anyone take me seriously? Because you taught them not to. You know that one friend who replies instantly to everyone, messages at 2 a.m., calls during dinner, work requests on weekends, family drama anytime. They're always available, always saying yes, always tired, and somehow they're also always overlooked. Why? Because availability kills value. Let me give you a real example. When Michael Jordan was playing basketball, he was known as difficult. He didn't joke around in practice. People said he was intense, rude, too serious. Years later, the same people said that obsession is why he's the greatest. At the time, it looked like arrogance. In reality, it was self-respect. Another one, when Cristiano Ronaldo chose to train alone after matches while others relaxed, people mocked him. They said, relax, enjoy life. Why are you overdoing it? Now they say, how is he still at the top? Same behavior, different results, because focus compounds. Here's the mistake most of you are making right now. You are trying to prove yourself to people who are not even building anything. People scrolling all day, advising you on life. And because you don't value yourself enough, you listen. Let me say this clearly. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every message deserves a reply. Not every invitation deserves your presence. If you don't guard your focus, someone else will rent it cheaply. Let me make this relatable. You sit down to work. You open your laptop. You tell yourself, today I will focus. 5 minutes later, one notification, one message, one short video, one random thought, 1 hour gone. And at night you feel guilty. Not because you were lazy, but because you were distracted. When Oprah Winfrey cut off relationships that drained her early in her career, people called her cold. They said she thinks she's better than us. Years later, people call it wisdom. Boundaries always look rude to people who benefit from you having none. That's why valuing yourself starts with one simple decision. Decide that your attention is expensive. Not everyone can afford it. From today, stop living like your life is a public Wi-Fi. No password, free access, anyone can connect. Set boundaries, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if people don't like it, even if they say you've changed. Of course you've changed. You finally realize that focus is self-respect. And when you respect yourself, life responds differently. This is where everything begins. Not motivation, not discipline, not habits, self-value. Let's be honest for a second. Most of you are not distracted. You're professionally distracted. You don't waste time randomly, you waste it responsibly. You reply to messages first because it feels important. You check email because it feels adult. You scroll news because it feels being informed. Congratulations. You wasted 4 hours with dignity. Let me make this visual. You sit down to work, laptop open, serious face, good intentions. 5 minutes later, you're watching a video titled 5 Things You Didn't Know About Your Personality. You don't even know who you are, but now you're learning about your personality. That's not curiosity. That's escape. And don't act surprised. Everyone here has done this. You ever open Instagram just to reply to one message and close it 47 minutes later, wondering what year it is? That's not bad time management. That's your phone saying, give me your life for free. Here's the problem nobody wants to admit. Your brain loves distraction because distraction feels productive without requiring courage. Focus demands effort. Distraction gives comfort. That's why when something actually matters, your brain suddenly remembers unfinished chores from 2013. Suddenly, cleaning feels urgent. Organizing files feels necessary. Checking notifications feels essential. Your goals later, let me give you a real example. When Taylor Swift disappears before releasing music, people lose their minds. No updates, no explanations, no daily posts. Then she comes back and breaks records. Why? Because absence creates curiosity, noise creates boredom. You're doing the opposite. You're always available and wondering why no one listens. Another one. When Keanu Reeves skips Hollywood nonsense and stays low key, people call him mysterious. You do it for one weekend and people say, "Are you depressed?" No, you're just focused. But society hates focused people. Focused people don't consume enough nonsense. Now let's talk about the tiny dictator in your pocket. Your phone buzzes, you react, your phone lights up, you look, your phone does nothing. You still check. You don't even know why anymore. It's muscle memory. You say, "I'm just checking quickly." Checking what? Your destiny hasn't replied yet. Here's the funny part. You'll watch strangers argue online for hours but avoid sitting alone with your own thoughts for 5 minutes because silence is dangerous. Silence forces you to think, and thinking leads to responsibility. Let me hit you with this. If you truly valued yourself, you wouldn't let random apps schedule your day. You wouldn't let bored people interrupt your focus. You wouldn't attend conversations that go nowhere. You wouldn't stay available to people who only call when they need something. Look at this example. When Serena Williams trained while others rested, she didn't announce it. She didn't post it. She was too busy becoming dangerous. That's what focus does. It makes you quietly powerful.